Hello everyone, and welcome to another Design Deconstruct, where we take a look at the first hour or so of a game and just see what design choices they made in terms of teaching you new tutorials, how to do stuff, and how well I think that's going. We are going to have a look at Axiom Verge. There we go. Oh, come on computer, you can do this. There we go. So this is probably the most traditional, that sticks most traditionally to the Metroidvania format. It does have a few twists and turns, but we'll go into. But I think it's really a good modern baseline for what people expect from these games. So let's start. So obviously straight away the soundtrack is super strong. I love this. I think it's, I don't know, maybe love or hate, but I think it's great. And this is obviously a classic sort of 16-bit style intro. Again, compared to the other games, it's actually quite long and quite slow-paced. So I think compared to the other games, it's maybe a bit more odd with the actual game itself. I also want to check if you press A, does it skip through sections? Maybe not. It's cool. I just think it's interesting that the actual game itself is pretty fast-paced, and this is quite, quite slow-paced. But it is pretty. I'm just checking if you can skip through the bits. No, you can't. I always thought you could. Oh no. Going to silence is a nice touch, because they actually, it's him, one person on his own. The audio is quite important because it goes to silence, and then you've got this background sound effect. Keep that in mind because I love the way they build it up gradually in this game. So this I can skip through. Well, I can skip through each bit of text. So this isn't strictly like a playthrough from, well, it's not a let's play, it's a design analysis. I'm gonna move pretty speedily through the text. So straight away, it's going to tell you can press up to save, which there we go, pretty straightforward. Other than that, let's think about what we actually need to move around. So this is just quintessential Metroidvania. So you're in the very first room. Here's something that I can't do. So I press A, I can jump. I can't do anything else. There's no way through this, and I already pretty much know because of the the history that these two things are entrances. So that's an entrance that I cannot get to. If I didn't know that, when I walk through this, I would know that it is, and so it's already set that I would know that, well, already I want to go this way. And already if we look at the map in the top right, we can see it's got the little indicators for the doors. Okay, so now we're seeing, in the first room obviously, we didn't actually need to jump. We could have just fallen down this side and continued left. Unlikely, I know, but it's possible. So here is the first time it's enforced, right? If you don't know what jump is, you cannot get out of here. And I think I want to check, this does have like a smaller jump and bigger jump, doesn't it, for holding. So that's 3 enforced jumps. The thing is as well, if you miss this one, can you get... No, just checking if you could skip one. So you can't, you have to do at least 3. And note the other thing is immediately he gates you, right? The player gates you, so the designer gates you rather. So you can't go back. You can't go back, and you can't return underneath here either. So already this is limiting like the potential area. You need to think about how to solve a problem, right? So you're like, well, I know that nothing over here, nothing in this other room can be involved with how I progress. And again, we have some line things for, you have to jump here. And you might jump 2, and you might jump 1, but you have to jump. And there's this item, which I always want to see. Can you actually skip this item? Okay, you can, but obviously I'm just being difficult. Everyone is going to know that really you should walk into this. Okay, so let's go for your weapon. It tells you about it. Something I don't like as much is you have to look at this, like you have to read this text, even though I'd argue you don't need to, but it makes you. However, what's really cool, I remember this. Now the soundtrack kicks in and you see a couple of background layers appear. I think that's so cool. That's so effective. The way the music is, fades out from the end of the intro and only now comes back in. So that's a really cool moment, and I really like that. Okay, so now let's focus on the Metroid gate. So obviously we still can't get up out of here, but now we have a weapon that can shoot, right? So it can shoot these. Now I realise this isn't rocket science, but you see how you were guided through that. So now if you're on this side, again it's the same. It's 3 times you've had to repeat this. Then the designer can assume that you know how it works, and the only possible way you can go is over here. And look, this thing that we didn't know how to get through, we now know how to get through. So that is a perfect, neat loop. And notice how quickly we went through that loop and how quickly you understand things. And now a lot of the other things in this are just about positioning. So notice from this point, I'm likely to hit that thing just by shooting. It's all neat little distances. I think they do the same on the top as well. I realise a lot of this comes from the classic Metroid as well, but it still had to be understood to be implemented. So there's loads of this stuff just to shoot, mostly just for fun. You don't have to shoot at all. Okay, and then so we have a few options here. I'm one of these people who tends to go sort of, explore everything I can on a single floor. So we have this stuff here, but it doesn't do anything. And we have this very obviously, different coloured floor, which I can't do anything with. So already this gets you thinking. You're like, okay, as I was talking about in the other ones, this is like the anticipation and the motivation for the future. You're like, I don't know how to get through here, but I will, and I want to come back here, and I'm already starting to think what might be down there. But anyway, for now, we can't do anything. So if we go back, got this same little climbing section, which again is reinforcing what you might know about jumping. You're getting used to the jump. It's repeating it over and over. Let's go back down to this door here. Have a look. Okay, just checking. Yeah, that's fine. So again, same kind of deal. We already know exactly what this is. We know that it will take us somewhere we haven't been before. We can see by the map and just by knowing how it works. And it's very obvious, this pink thing. Okay, I need this. And those flashing things seem important, but hey, we can't jump at them and we can't shoot them. So again, motivation to come back. We know we'll find some way to open this, but we don't know what it is yet. So we're being shown, hey, there are multiple things you can't do yet, and you start building, the anticipation of what those might be. So let's just keep going up here. Again, just getting more and more used to the jump. So there's another one of these pink things. So you may not have seen that one, but you're very likely to see this one or the other one. And the setup looks similar, so you're definitely motivated to try and solve that. So at this point, literally the only way you can go is this way. Okay, so similar room setup, similar enemies rather, but then they introduce another one here, and this one I can actually shoot back, but again you've got lots of space to maneuver, so it's not actually that dangerous. Okay, so again, just repeating the same thing a few times, and again they set these things at these heights, so it's kind of easier to shoot them to start with. I also think I'm going to test it. I think they do this thing where maybe not. I thought you could get into the corner angle and shoot them. Maybe not. Okay. Anyway, so that's just the second or third time we've encountered them. And we picked up that goo off them, which you may not immediately notice gives you health, but I think gradually over time you will notice it. And I think that's a reasonable job. So again, you get told this thing, which I think is nice. It's just it's making it easy for you basically. It's it's easing you into the difficulty and making you understand the options you've actually got for shooting things. So yeah, the gaining of health from those things, because the HUD element's very far top left, you might not notice, I suppose. So let's do this the way that I would normally. So I notice this up here, and I'd like to get there, and I can. So I was led further off to the right because of the movement of the enemies, but I can still obviously see this, but I might not go for it straight away. So this is obvious, but it's just kind of giving you a bit of information. Obviously this is a platform. You can use them as platforms to climb. And we've got another enemy type here. It's a really weird noise. have got a trap there before, but there you go. And a bit more reinforcement of the basic platform jump. So another thing, right, that we can't do anything with. So another mystery. I keep forgetting you can't look up and down in here. So this looks like another gate to me. Looks like something that somehow, eventually, I'm going to know how to do something with it. But for now, can't do anything. In fact, yeah, it hurts you, doesn't it? So, okay, that's the end of that. I love the audio cue for that as well. You can hear it even down here, but it comes in just stronger and stronger as it gets onto the screen. So that's cool. But anyway, so that's something else I know that I can't do right now. And so it's put up here, so it's probably less likely that people encounter it straight away. As I said, I feel like the more likely route is this one, because you know, you'll be on the lower section and you'll see the movement and you're repeating that pattern of shooting these weird things, whatever they are. Aha, right, so this is the first part of understanding those setups from before. So we'll recognise the shape from before, probably. But even if we don't, we can see that we've got the wall, the force field or whatever, and this thing here. And our only interaction other than jumping, which doesn't do anything, is shooting. Right, so now we know that if we press this, it turns those off. And we see that this one on this side, well, okay, there's no way we could shoot that. But we've learned, you know, this controls that. And again, okay, so this is a nice thing. So obviously here at the end, even if you're just going left to right, you'd have to go up here. So you're being taught that they go up as well. And again, that's being reinforced because you have to repeat it. I wonder if you have to repeat it a third time. No, you don't. But okay, so you see this. This is new. We don't know what this is. Let's try shooting it. That does actually do something cool. And then we pick it up. And then we're familiar with this cycle, right? We know what it's going to do. So this is basically like you fire it once and then you press it again and it fires again. Now you probably realise what to do with this, but let's just, again, you know, walk through it. So we've got this thing. What are we going to do with it? I mean, we can obviously shoot stuff with it, and it's pretty good at shooting stuff. But also, now this is turned back on. So we know that these things are responsible for it, and we know that we couldn't use this before. And you'll notice that the space we can go in now is like 2 rooms. We're locked off. So we know the solution is something either in this room or that room, and there's nothing else in that room. So it must be the thing we have on us. So, there you go. That's cool, right? So now you understand what these are, the relationship between the 2 objects, and how this new thing lets you do something that you couldn't before. So now obviously the thing is, I imagine what most people would do, and probably what they'd like you to do, is go back there and use it. So let's do that. I'm just seeing, I seem to remember this isn't so good at killing them actually. Okay, so they probably would like you to change. Maybe not, I don't know, but I'm going to change because it's obviously more effective. Yeah, it just goes as fast as you can tap it, basically. Which again is a sort of very classic arcade thing. Okay, so we just keep going back to where I remember seeing it, but you know, you're getting more practice at the jumping and shooting in a pretty pretty low pressure situation, which is important because you need to be familiar with these because you're going to be doing them a lot in the game, more than probably anything else. Okay, oopsie. So there's one up here, which is the most obvious one, which is probably like, you know, the main path, because we all remember that. But let's go look at the other one. See, already it's giving you your first branch here, right, where 2 different things can happen. So was it this one? No, it wasn't this one. I already know as I go in. Okay, so we still can't do anything about that. But that second one, a bit further up, we can do something with now, right? So you remember seeing this, and we can use the same technique. Cool. And now, you know, we've got our first branch. And let's see, is this for now a dead end? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, can't do anything here. Nothing obvious to do there. Then there's this thing, isn't there? Oh, yep. I love the way that the health warning beep is in time with the health warning beep is in time with the music. I think that's a really cool touch. So we learn how those things work, and we see them in the wall, and we know how we can avoid them. Try and stop that beeping. Let's try and find some. I think if you save, you get your health back. He says. You do. That's good. So this looks like I might be able to walk up it. And I can. It doesn't go anywhere yet, but hey, might do in the future. Going back to some of the other games as well, I like the way that these dangerous, weird pincery things have an audio cue when they're on the wall. You can hear them sort of chomping away, but we'll leave them for now. Okay, so again, you know, this is doing a good thing of building up tension, so the music drops away. And last time that happened, it was a significant event. And also that noise is pretty freaky, so we start to build some attention. And we see this here, this is red, so we're like, okay, probably something different through here. And sure enough, it's a boss battle. So I said, we're not here for the text. There's many Let's Plays this game if you're here for that. So, yeah. Again, this is basically making use of the skills that you had, you've been slowly developing before. I can't remember if the other gun is better to use here, but I'm not gonna. Right. If I don't mess this up. I realise it's pretty easy, but to say I'm rusty would be quite an exaggeration. But the timings on these mines and everything, it's pretty generous, and like even though these two blocks seem minor, they give you a lot of cover, so I know you can do this loads faster if you're better at the game than me, but I'm doing alright. Because it's clearly designed that, particularly for this easy boss, like there's very few windows where you can't attack them. But I'm just not good enough to exploit them all. Feel free to critique my technique in the comments. I think it's a common misconception that people that make games are good at playing them. I think it's pretty rare that you actually find that. Big difference between like being good at them and just understanding what makes them work for players that do have the experience. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Oh. And then loads of health things. Yay! It's a really cool effect as well. I'm glad I didn't fail that because I really didn't want to do it again. Just because really, this is all you need to see for the loop. So you notice again, the music just drops away completely. So you get that nice return. So now we've seen one of these before, so we know what this is. And obviously if you're paying attention and you see the thing it's on top of, you probably get an idea what it's going to do for you. So there you go. We've established the pattern now, right? Oh, and also to note, so you can't go back. Again, he does this a lot, and it's a thing that's a classic Metroid thing. It's quite aggressive in like pushing you around. So you can't return through here, so you know that, well, he knows that you have to have used this item to escape. You haven't just backtracked. Whee! There we go. So we know about this, and we're looking straight away for this button thing, and then we're like, aha, I can do something with this. So you know that you can use it in all directions now. And also, I think, is it, oh, of course, it's a combination of, it's making sure you still understand that Cool. And then, not used to the selector here. Ah, there we go. And then, so there's a couple of things going on here. One is teaching you that, hey, this other type of block can also, you can also pass through it. You're very likely to notice that as you get rid of the other one. And also, there's a very good chance you'll catch an enemy with it, so you'll realise the cool thing as well is that nearly everything you unlock, I'm not sure if everything, but nearly everything you unlock also has like an offensive capability as well as like a puzzle capability. And then you're taught about a different kind of power node thing, right? So it's just an incremental upgrade. And then we reinforce this, because it's important to know this. And then this is like the classic Metroidvania loop, right? So if you look at the map in the top right, we've actually looped back to this place that we were before, and we've come in the other way, right? So before, we came in here and went, I don't understand how this works, and now we've come back through it a different way. And the cool thing about that is that what you've done now is you've returned to this new area that you need to go through to progress without having to backtrack all the way around, which saves a lot of time, it feels good, and also means obviously that, you know, they can ensure that you've learned this new ability. So let's just try this. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'll just save, seeing as I'm right next to it. And I always press the wrong button. But it's okay, I don't think anyone's noticed. Okay, so I don't think it, I was checking, I don't think it ever explicitly makes you open the map, so I'm just gonna open the map. So this is obviously a very classic Metroidvania map, where everything's a discrete square, and the white are doors, and the red we can infer are boss rooms, and the green we can infer are safe rooms. And the primary way, well the only way really you're motivated to move around is you look at areas that it looks like you can explore further but you haven't. For example, going up and to the left here looks like a space that I couldn't get to before. One of my favourite things added to this is that you can, by pressing L1, not L1, L3 and R3, you can leave reminders, which I think is a really nice touch. If you find something that you like, I'm sure I need to come back here. The other panels, I gotta admit, I barely ever look at them, but I think that's kind of, you know, goes with the territory of the Metroid game. So we know how these work in both directions, so we can come back through here now. So now, let's go up here again, I suppose. I could kill these guys, but there's no real reason to. Just gotta remember to equip that thing. Right, okay, so this is new. I keep pressing the wrong button, I don't know why. But anyway, so we know what these are, and we know we don't have to do anything particularly clever to get rid of them. These are new. So we learn that they sort of dive bomb you. And when you're better at the game, which I am most definitely not, I think they come at you at just the right angle. But you can always use your, like, angled up attack. Ah, dear. But I am bad at video games. But hey, it's early on, so there's lots of save points nearby, which is nice. So let's try and get back there. Oh, and they try and add some sort of story context for it, which, yeah, you know, why not? Again, like, I'm not dismissing it, I think it's all nicely done, but it is not the focus of these videos. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I thought I was somewhere else. I remember where I'm going, honest. Okay, so let's try that again, but this time, better. So already, you know, you start to get pretty natural at doing those jumps, which is good because it's that kind of jump distance is something that you're going to encounter basically forever. Okay, let's try a slightly better technique. Oh, okay, that guy can shoot down. Interesting. Oops, oh no. Ah, good, it does remember a room or two. I couldn't remember if it was like very strict with that. Again, these things, they offer you quite a bit of health, so it's kind of fairly forgiving for this early stage of the game. And also, you can easily destroy them without any real pressure. Just by doing this. There's probably other ways, but this just feels like the way to do it, I'll be honest. Okay, so we know how to get through this stuff. We've done it before. Oh, I didn't even notice that there. Okay. So my projectiles are bigger. Hooray! I can't ever remember if that's actually particularly useful, but okay, so we know that's the end of that. It doesn't go any further, it's quite clear. So what else can we do? So again, this is, you know, a classic Metroidvania. We look at the map and we see where we've been that we couldn't go to before, so it looks like across here there's somewhere I haven't been, so let's have a look. Maybe I'll get there and I'll remember why I still can't. Maybe I won't. A bit harder to rush through stuff in this than, say, Hollow Knight, where you can kind of do that quite easily, but all the shooting and everything is pretty satisfying, so I'm not too upset. Okay. So, let's have a look. So it looks like I might be able to go through here. Those of you with a better memory than me are probably already cursing that you know that I can or can't get up here, but I have a bad memory, sorry. Oh wow, that really hurt. Okay, no, I don't have anything to do with that. Doesn't do anything. So that's still unknown. Okay, but what about... okay, so if I go back this way again... Let's see if I can actually get through here. Actually, I kind of need this for the health anyway, so... I guess that's fine. Almost as if that's why they're there. Yoink. Come on, that's enough for you. Over there. So let's have a look. Again, I realise for people with better memories this is less of an issue, but for me... okay, so it looks like down here is a possibility. Ah yeah, of course, this room. So there we go. Now we get to solve this mystery. And we should already be familiar with these guys here, so we can leave them to their own devices. We can see that one. Whoop. And we see one of these guys, so we kind of know what his deal is. Oops. Just switch back to the normal gun. So there's more of that corruption stuff that we know that we can't deal with yet, and we know that it hurts us, so we'll leave that alone. So here's the first entrance out of here. Revealing a new enemy. Weird swirly thing. I think that's a technical term. And more corruption that we can't get through. So this corruption thing is, you know, quite a big deal. If only we had something to solve it. But for now we don't, so we keep going. Let's keep looking. I find that sometimes I start looking at the map in the top right rather than the game world, which is why I'm not personally a fan of maps. But I know why they suit the genre. So this looks weird. I think this is just I don't know if this is deliberate, but it always looks like you can walk on it and then you fall in there, and maybe they just want to make that clear. But anyway, this is a pretty obvious gate. Another one, I'm like, okay, there's no way I can jump high enough to get up there. And obviously I want to go to there, but I can't. Okay, so that's another one to mark up. Let's keep going. Oops. Okay, well, this seems to be the only other option. So, because it's close, I'm going to take this one. And I notice a different variant of this enemy. Makes a different noise too. Seems a bit tougher. There's those things again, which I'm going to do my best to avoid. Oops. I knew that would happen, but I thought I could get away with it once, but I was wrong. the only thing with this is, again, it does stick to the formula in that death is fairly punishing because you'll only ever be reset to a save point. There's never like you know, a reset point, like say for example Hollow Knight and some other games like that will kind of knock you back quite a long way, but not necessarily this far back. I understand the sort of risk and reward, but I find that it really disrupts my flow because now I kind of have to remember like where I was and get back there. But you know, everyone is different, and I respect that this game is fairly you know, respectful of the source material, shall we say. Oops, did that wrong. Okay, but whoops. Okay, good. I'm pretty sure the health stuff has a little bit of it's kind of, you know, reactive to how damaged you are. I could be wrong, and I suspect that's something that's tweaked for the higher difficulty levels. But it seems about right for someone like me who's not very good at these anymore. Actually, to say anymore is to imply that I was ever any good at them, which I wasn't. Okay, so let's try this bit again. Let's try and be just a tad more cautious. So I can't actually see how I would get up there from here, so maybe I can't. Maybe I can't get up here at all. So this room, like, it just has that feeling of like a room that I shouldn't be in yet, because I can't see any obvious routes up. And these things are quite dangerous. Oh, you can shoot them like that. Huh, I'd actually forgotten. Okay, so I know that I can shoot them here, and it actually provides me with those angles, so that's cool. But I still think, even with that done, with my current range of abilities, I can't actually get up there, so this room feels like it's off limits for now. But that's okay, and that thing looks interesting, but I can't get to it. Okay, so I explored that because it was closest, but now I'm going to go the other way, so it's just, probably just, you know, making it obvious that there are more branches. Ah, one of these things. Okay, so that's another separate node. We've learnt what a fair few of the different nodes do now. So just looking over here, and it's just a thing where you start trying this everywhere. Sometimes it's made obvious, sometimes it is not. So we get a change of music, which, you know, helps to make the place feel different. There's a different colour scheme as well, but obviously between the two, I think that really helps. Helps make the area memorable as well, because you're probably going to come back here quite a lot. As you unlock different things. Oops. So let's have a look through over here. Spotted this. Okay. Not exciting, but practical. I always want to press down. Don't know why. Okay, so we'll go a bit longer because I think we've nearly like established this pattern of how this game works. It sticks pretty rigidly to the original Metroid, but it does make some smart changes, which I think is why it's really worked. I think basically, like, if you know the classic games, it helps you, but a lot of the annoyances have been ironed off. Like, you know, it's got a few modern touches, which I appreciate. And of course, the soundtrack, you know, actually does have a modern feel to it. Okay, so ominous skeleton there. And again, some branching paths. So you're starting to see a different type of enemy. If we're in a different zone, you kind of expect that. And the layout of this room just has that feeling of just like a minor upgrade room. It feels like, you know, there's not much going on. Could be wrong. Let's see. And again, it's introducing this very slightly different enemy type in a very, you know, very easy way. It's, you know, they're not much of a challenge now. So, okay, I see this, and I'm familiar with that kind of gate. I can break through that, but I can't break through this gate using anything I have available. So this route, hey, it's not what I thought it was, and we can't get there yet. So that feels like a long-term one, that one there. Like, you can see the return path, but you've no idea yet how you'll get there. Because if you look at the map, we've never touched anything in that side. So that's cool. That's something to keep me motivated, to know that eventually I'm going to get there. Let's do another couple of rooms. And I think that will do. Just, oh, that's cool. Blended in nicely. Kind of difficult, but it gives you enough health to get back to where you were. Okay, so I remember that what I need for this, and I don't have it, but let's just check. You can't do it any other way. Nope. So I can't reach that. Feels like a one-way. Again, if I check the map, it looks like it might be possible to get to the other side. But that's actually quite nice, because you see this thing here. You see that there. You're like, that's probably an enemy, but you're not sure. And, you know, you're motivated to find out and reach it and see what's going on in there. And you can see there's another way in, at least another way in. So let's see if we can find that. And then I think that will do. Oops. On my Axiom Disruptor, which is totally a real thing. Oops. So can I dig up? Stupid. I can. Do I have to make myself like a little platform? I do. Wow. I built a thing. Okay, so the music changed and the scenery changes, so we know we're kind of in that place. But again... Oh, always try this thing. Don't I feel smart? Oh, I love this, because obviously I know I've played it before, but you're like, is this dangerous? And then, yeah, still get the kind of shiver up the spine. Scary sound effect. So now we've been introduced to that enemy, and now we know that one that's further down here in what looks like a sort of prison is probably going to be dangerous too. Aha! More story stuff. And another unlock. So the pace of the unlocks is quite fast. And each one gives you a couple of branches, so like, yeah, you know, there's more than one route through, which is cool. So sorry, I will skip this, it's not for now. So we'll just have a little look what this one does, and I reckon that's enough to kind of see how this thing works. I'll see if I remember how they introduce how this one works. Ah, yes, of course, perfect. So we came from the other side, and we knew that we couldn't get in there. But we already know how these barriers work and what they interact with. And the thing it wants to teach you is that, well, this goes through walls. So, boom. And we know this guy's dangerous, so we're not going to be too surprised. We're trying to work out the best way to get to him. And as it happens, that weapon is very effective against them. So that's cool. And then there's more. But you know what? I think actually... that's probably a pretty good time to stop. So, hey, that's Axiom Verge. It very harshly gates, it very clearly gates. It makes absolutely certain you understand each mechanic. Compared to some games, it's very overt about what you can and you can't do. The advantage of that, it builds this motivation, anticipation. You see that thing and you know that you're going to go there. Though arguably maybe it takes away a bit of mystery. You'll never like necessarily have that, you know, eureka moment where you see that area, you're like, I know if I go back there, maybe something else will happen. It kind of tells you that. But it's a great game, and I can see why it's really popular. So I hope that was kind of interesting, kind of illuminating to the thought process that we go through when we're looking at other games. Do let me know what you think, and do let me know if there's any other games like this you'd like us to take a look at. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.